Welcome back to What Would It Cost? Today we're talking all things real estate with our guests, Zalunardo and Mike Gatti. How's it going, guys?
Good. How you doing?
Good. Well, thank you for coming out today. We're excited to talk about real estate market, what the outlook's looking like for yourself and your company, as well as, what got you guys into real estate. So why don't we start with that first? How did that work out where you transitioned into the real estate market?
Basically, I was investing in real estate prior to selling real estate. I was in construction. And then ultimately, there was a turning point where I sold off all my investments and I wanted to get back into real estate. And so then I started selling real estate at a high level.
Awesome. How about yourself, Mike?
I came from a construction background. Basically got to the point where I maxed myself out where I was. I need some more personal growth. And like Steve, I was always invested in real estate. Family grew up in real estate as investors. And I was looking for more. So between loving negotiating and doing deals and bringing myself from a personal level to the next level, like growing myself, I needed something more, and I needed to start growing in the real estate industry. So that's when I got my license.
Awesome. And how do you feel a bit of that construction background for both of you, as we discussed, prior to coming on, that really helps with helping your investors look into these investment properties or realizing maybe different points that maybe other realtors don't realize when looking at a home?
To be honest, for myself, like when I'm bringing a client through the home and they're talking about alterations, doing renovations myself, I can actually help them and give them a vision and tell them what's involved with actually making those alterations,
right?
Like when they if they wanted to proceed with the property, right? So it definitely gives me another angle to look at and show them.
Yeah, I remember when me and Mikey went for a jog this morning. We were talking about at the tail end of his construction career, how he wasn't enjoying it, and it was something that he wanted to find something he was a lot more passionate about, and moving into the real estate market and going into these homes with the clients and just having that extra layer of confidence given the construction background and experience that he has, right? It really gives him that edge. And Steven, you come from a construction background.
Same idea.
Well,
I mean,
right?
when we go on showings, you can kind of visualize a house in skeleton form, and that's the whole point. If, like Mike's saying, if alterations need to be made, if there's a load-bearing wall, we can kind of, obviously we don't want to double down on it, but we can give them an idea where everything is. It's also the hard work. Coming from construction, I mean, there's nothing like it. I mean, you're waking up every morning, it's miserable. You're in hot and cold weather, and then you sort of, when you get into real estate, you understand how lucky you are to be actually dealing with clients, making one of their largest investments or purchases of their lives, also maybe the house of their dreams. So it's also from a hardworking job, and then ultimately get into something like you're more in an office and you're dealing with people on a day-to-day basis. It's a blessing, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And talk to us. So you're expanding your operation now.
Yes.
You're moving your talents down south in Florida. You're already invested in that market. You got lots of confidence in it. You're excited to get down there with your family, which is awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And now you're still going to be managing your portfolio in the Toronto market, as well as building a new portfolio in the Florida market. And then Mikey and the associates under the Zalunardo team are going to be stepping up and helping you handle a lot of the operations here. And you have vision to expand. So tell us a little bit about what that looks like and managing both brokerages and what you got your hopes up for, right?
So this stems back to being investing, right? So I remember, how the market's just gone bananas in the last couple of years, and it's every year we like to buy a piece of real estate, and hold on to it. We like to collect doors, obviously, for future retirement, for passive income. And 2020, we bought a nice duplex out of COVID. We were able to subdivide 2 lots off the back of it, so that's it was a great investment. But then we came to 2021, where this inflation, none of the numbers made sense. Like before, you were able to buy a townhouse, and that was affordable. You had passive income, and then it was like you need to get a duplex in order to create passive income. Now it's like gone to Airbnb to create passive income, because nothing makes sense anymore. So I had my antennas up. I searched Montreal, I was searching other markets. When I saw Florida, it made sense. All the numbers started making sense. Our cap rates are like some properties up to 9%, 10% on depends what kind of a building we're looking to buy. So that's kind of opened my eyes. So I bought a rental property there, or an investment property, earlier this year in February, and I just saw this niche where it's basically we're Canadian and they're American. Are we the same? Maybe. I don't know. But ultimately, we don't. It's hard to kind of like assimilate in another community, not know the process.
Right.
But if I can be there as a Canadian and kind of help out the Canadians with the process, with our basically Canadian knowledge and just adapting it to their American process, it'd be an easier transition and get a lot more Canadians into that market, making more money. So basically, I want to become that conduit in America. And it's not just where we're going to be located in Southwest Florida, near Naples area. It's basically, that's our hub. So Southwest Florida will be our hub, but we're also going to be transferring to all different states, because we know how easy it is in America to fly around. So I could be in Ohio in the morning and home for dinner in the evening. And so the whole point is to make money, and that's our goal. And then for the team back home, naturally, I got to be back every month, no matter what. Mikey's going to head up a lot of stuff while I'm not around, for sure. And then and that's pretty much it. So we'll be back, and business goes on as normal. I just don't want to be telling our clients that I'm here, but I'm not, and not providing a service. So Mikey's going to fill in the gap, and Mike's a great guy. We actually come from the same backgrounds in Italy, half from Treviso, half from Sicily. So it's like it's only a blend made in Canada. So it's it's and he reached out to me, and it was great. We connected well. He comes from the same background, hardworking, blue collar. We appreciate our clients. We want to service them. We don't care about just making the money, the commission. It's all about giving the service, and we get paid later. And that's so when we hit it off, and I feel it's a good fit. And also, like, real estate's just one pillar of real estate. We're going down in Florida on 4 pillars. It's going to be the obviously the real estate sales, so buying, selling, investing. Second pillar is going to be the real estate development. The third pillar is going to be more like capital, so basically collecting doors and investment properties. And the fourth pillar is the least profitable, but it basically tethers in with the rest of them, is property management. So that's it. We're going to set those 4 pillars up, and it's similar to what I'm doing here in Toronto. So we're looking to go hard. We got like 10, 15 years. We want to go really hard and go
Very
for
cool.
it. Yeah,
that's awesome, man.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Congratulations on
Thank you.
Such a sophisticated operation as it exists, but a big vision. You know, that has no end.
And for yourself, Mike, what's the outlook look like for the Toronto team?
So the outlook, like Steve had mentioned, is basically Steve's going to be back and forth, and I'm going to be helping continue to grow our associates, continue to grow our business, service our clients. Me and Steve are on the same level when it comes to client service.
Yeah,
we're cut from the same cloth, right? Mm-hmm. Client service is our number one motive at the end of the day.
Right.
And he actually gave me a lesson the other day, a little bit of our history. We're being from the northern part of Italy, we're basically like perfectionists, right? So everything, if we're stamping our name on something, like, it has to be perfect. Like, we're not looking at every dollar and cent that has to be made off it. We're looking at, what the client had a phenomenal experience and great service, and ultimately, like, we're on the same level or same page with that. So that's what I'll be taking care of here.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
I remember when we were first chatting it up on the sidelines there at soccer, that was something that stuck with me, is that white glove service was very important for you, and not only coming into the trade with the construction background, but also the educational piece. And you were very skeptical about coming out of your shell before you became the expert that you wanted to become, and you, in a big way, had nothing but great things to say about Steven in regards to just him being such a well-rounded realtor that was educated in all niches and aspects of the market. So good on you for taking that time to really educate yourself before you put yourself out there and say, hey, I'm available on Mike Gatti, I'm here to service you, right? Exactly, so a combination of both, you guys are doing right by the clients and looking out for them, because we see a lot of people kind of hit the ground running, right off the course with not only not having that construction background and but not staying in their shell for a certain amount of time and learning from an expert like yourself that, really has them being a well-rounded realtor as well. So, good on you for taking that time, because I know it could be tough, right? When me and Mikey had started up Spark, there was that time period that we had went through as well, where it's like, we want to make sure the foundation's solid. Yeah. We want to make sure that when we put our hands up and say, hey, we're ready to transact with you, that we were going to do right by them in every way possible, along with giving them that white glove service too.
To be honest, when we first met, he gave us that presentation. It really attracted me to care and just to develop. Like, I've been in the business 13 years, did over 500 deals. Like, I'm sure there's people who did a lot more than me, but very consistent top producer. I've dealt with so many mortgage agents. What you guys got going on over there is something very special. It's I'm being sincere. Like just the energy, like everyone, I love it. It's just a team. I've never seen that. So people say it's a team. Oh, we're a team, but it's bullshit. It's usually one CEO that's like we're a team, but everyone's miserable. But you guys are, you guys have something going on there. I like it. It's really
Thank
cool.
you for that.
Yeah,
that means a lot for
Appreciate
sure,
that.
Steve. You're an experienced gentleman in this business that, like you said, have seen what you've seen, but that means a lot. Thank you. We try for that.
Yeah.
In a big way.
And even for Mike too, like we had a conversation this morning, went a listing presentation last night, and I wanted Mike to go, to deliver it, and I can kind of fill in when I needed to, kind of like settle things up and just kind of monitor him. And it's just the whole point is like to make him better than me. Like I want him to be a leading champion, right? Like I know some people when they hire people, they're like scared and they're timid and they're maybe not, they don't have the confidence. Like I'm not going to give them all the information just in case they leave. I'm like, take everything. You know what I mean? Hopefully, we can work something out, and then at the end, we're on the same page, and we can kind of grow something more special. Because you can't look at nickels and dimes. Like
right.
we want to look at the big picture. And I think ultimately, coming from the construction background, me and Mike, it's also that end goal of development, right? Like I'm going to head it off naturally now. I'm ready to go. And then the future, like opportunities for Mike as he's coming up, like we have that whole development section. It'll be hopefully here in Toronto if everything goes back to normal.
Well, we're going to take a quick short break,
Yeah.
and then when we get back, we'll discuss what servicing your clients looks like.
Sure.
So be sure to turn back after these messages. We all live a fast-paced lifestyle. To keep up, you need a mortgage agent that isn't stuck in the past. Between work, kids, hobbies, and anything else life might throw at you, it's tough to stay on top of your finances.
And we also understand how hard it can be to make the time to sit down with a mortgage agent. That's why at Spark Financial Group, we've created a simple and interactive online application that allows you access to it 24/7, 365 days a year.
Spark Financial Group, where finance creates freedom.
Welcome back to What Would It Cost? We're here with our guests, Mr. Steven Zalunardo and Mike Gatti, two powerhouse realtors.
So during COVID, we saw a really big uptick in realtors and mortgage brokers, new realtors and brokers joining the market. So obviously our clients, especially in the Ontario area, have a lot of realtors to choose from. So what's something that helps you guys stand out when servicing your clients that's like, you know what, I want to work with that team?
Wasn't that fun?
Yeah, it was very fun.
It's gone now. So I think it goes down to service, right? Like being honest, when we get into a presentation, we're not trying to just take a listing. We obviously want to give you your prices.
Right.
We're not scared to work hard, but I want you to work with the truth. So if your house is worth X dollars, I'm going to give it to you. And I actually pre-print it prior to going in so they can't sell me on the fact their house is worth more money. So it's basically, this is what your value is in today's market. Can we try to do something higher? Let's do it. I'm not afraid to work, but I want to give you the facts up front. So it's obviously, I have an executive assistant that handles the spearheads the business. So everything is basically like my job is to sell, Mike's job is to sell. We're servicing clients, but my assistant Elisa is basically holding the back end. So all the
Right.
paperwork's going out on time. All the lawyers are getting information. It's basically, we're small, but we're very lean and mean. Just to say that, like everything's very organized, and so when they're dealing with us, they're dealing with professionals rather
Right.
than, let's just say, a real estate agent. It's more of a, let's say, a business man and women, right?
Yeah, absolutely. No, and I love that because I think that's what they're looking for is that value. And especially, I like that you brought up that you're coming in with, this is the value we're expecting. Because we saw that a lot over the pandemic where like, yeah, my house is worth $2 million, but maybe it was really worth 1.7. Then they're discouraged because either it's not selling or it's not moving. They're bringing down that price. And then we're even seeing now on the brokering side that's causing issues with the appraised value.
For sure.
Because again, too, there's some people that's like, okay, it was listed. You got on that sale, but is that value really there? And you have these long closes, 90 days, 120 days. Appraisal comes in, now they're falling short, and it's pretty much crushing that deal. So it's definitely great that you guys are bringing that opinion of value that, hey, this is where we're going to list at, or it's not really going to work out.
Yeah, for sure. That's the biggest thing. Like, especially in today's market, if we're not realistic, you're just going to sit there. Your days on market going to get eaten up, and then you're either going to expire or terminate. Basically, look for something else, another option, right? Maybe
Right.
rental, right? So you have to be perfect with pricing today. For
Yeah,
sure.
absolutely. And what's your current outlook of where the market's heading right now, given, we're coming off the whole COVID highs?
I don't know if you want to ask me that. I can't lie. I'm from the north.
Yeah.
It's just bad. Shit. Let's start with optimism. I
Yeah.
believe there's going to be a bright future ahead. Let's just say this is wherever we're going through now is what we're going through, and this is obviously caused by quantitative easing, printing out money, cheap money being lent out to people, and then obviously a a supply issue with
Right.
with high demand. And a lot of people bought into houses that they couldn't afford, and this is the issue right now. And obviously, the mentality or the conversations we had with clients, friends, and family was like, well, they can't raise the interest rates because they don't want to, bog down the economy, or they don't want to do anything that sort. They don't want to, mess with our family, and that's not the case. They really don't care. These are black and white numbers, right? So ultimately, when these rates started rising, and this is where I hedged and I moved to Americas, because we've already made $70K US on one property, and the other one we just bought now, I'm up 300,000 USD on that. If you look historically, a year before a federal election, if you look at how the market goes, they're going to start lowering the interest rates, boosting the economy. Basically, everyone has short-term memories, right? So they won't know about the pain they just faced. They're going to think, we're buying, everyone's feeling good, we're on vacations again, and that's all due for the next election. And so I think we got like 1.5 to 2 years of this. And I don't know how low it goes down. I hope I'm wrong, to be honest. I'd rather be wrong in this scenario than right, but it is what it is. We know what people, you guys know better than me, what people are carrying and if they're going to be able to afford it.
Absolutely. But I even like the bit of optimism you brought to it, because that's what we're trying to bring to clients right now, is that we had a bunch of pre-approvals, or clients who were trying to pre-approve, last year. And it's like, well, this is out of my price range, not $1 million, 1.2. They can't keep up with these bidding wars with 35 people bidding. So that's what I'm seeing. It's shifting right now. There's actually more purchases that are going to be coming up, because a lot of people, we're under the $1 million threshold. So they could put their 10% down, 15% down, and that 500K price might be coming a little bit closer rather than being, 3 hours north. Yeah. So see a bit of that optimism to shed light on.
You're 100% right, and I'll double on that too. Is if you're looking to upsize right now, still the better time. If you're coming from a town or a semi-detached, you're looking for a detached, it's the best time. Because look, a detached, if a whole market's coming down 30% at a time, the townhouse is always less expensive than a detached. They're all coming down 30% at a time. You're gonna be buying the bigger product at a lower price, because if you're buying on the upwards market, you're going to be paying much more higher, and you won't see it. Where you're going to see it on your mortgage amount that you pay monthly, or your mortgage amount that you need to pay over the length of the mortgage of the property. So like even now, like we have clients now, Mikey's taking them out, and basically their mortgage is going to look about $70,000 less than would have looked, let's say, 6 months ago on the same type of product. So there is upside.
Yeah, and that's even, I like that you brought that up, because that's even what we were using even most recently. I did it with for a client, showcasing them like, look, this property was going for $1 million back in February. Your 2.95 cost X amount of dollars. Now it's we're in October. 5.05 for the variable as of today's rate.
What is the rate today, sir?
5.05 variable.
Rate. Yeah,
for now. but looking at that amount though, this same property dropped $200,000. So that $800,000 now, it's actually $16 less a month than it was when you bought it at $1 million. To go to your point about, look at the sale price you're getting on that property and saving on that mortgage, not this big mortgage you're taking on. With a cheaper rate. It's not always just about the rate.
Absolutely.
And to any time you zoom out in the market and you look at the 100-year linear graph, you couldn't lose. So to go to your point a little earlier, there might be some little turmoil that we're going through now, but if you can hold, everyone's going to be in a great position. And if it was something that you did put your back up against the wall and that happens, you simply take, the lesson from that experience and you're able to apply it in the future.
For sure.
On not making that same mistake again, and do what you have to do in the meantime to make sure you guide it back into the right direction, right? So
I agree.
That's how we learn. That's how we get better, right? We learn from our mistakes. So.
I think even like first-time buyers, let's say where the market goes, where it ends up, first-time buyers are going to have the best opportunity.
Yeah.
And when that market finally bottoms, they got to buy in. They can't be, on the fence or anything. They got to be collecting cash right now, their coins. Just start saving as much as you can. Get ready for it. Especially if you're even in investments, just like you made that point where it's like you had to go so far up north to do anything. I remember when I first started investing, I couldn't buy in Toronto, so we went to York Region. Then in York Region was too expensive. Then we went to Alliston. And Alliston, then we were looking at Aurelia. And I was like, where am I? To do, start looking at investment properties, I had to pack a lunch, It was like 3-4 hours away. It was all
exactly.
I was like, this is too much. And this is, again, going back to Florida, why we went to Florida. It was cheaper to fly, or less time to fly than to keep driving around.
And even to that point too, like, besides it being the outside markets, it becomes also harder to find a proper lender for these people. So it was just like, that's why there's no end in sight for these first time home buyers, because like, yeah, I have the 5% down. Here's a 500K house. We could go purchase it. But then the lenders are coming in. They're always looking at population density. So they're saying, well, no, you got to put 35% down.
Yes.
So I think, yeah, to go to your point, this is the optimistic side. Maybe not so much for your regular buyers, I think for the investors, but more so for those first time home buyers. Like you said, it's bottoming out. 100%. Get in because you're able to put down that 5% or 10%, not where, you're in the middle of the rural area and you can't put down, less than 25%.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And first time home buyers are just people that are really interested in the real estate market in general. Take note, because all the calls that we're taking right now are from investors that are looking to scale their portfolio.
Yes.
They've had their chips stacked. They knew this was coming in and around the corner.
Yeah.
They knew it was a matter of time until the hype settled down and they were going to come out when they had, a yard sale happening.
Absolutely.
So we're working with investors day in, day out and helping them scale their portfolios, and they're loving the sale, right? To go to your point, you were talking about a little earlier, just to use even numbers, $1 million assets now going for 800 grand. I didn't wake up this morning and find 200K on my apple tree. You know what I mean? So that's what they were waiting for.
Absolutely.
So I think 90% of our current pipeline that are going to be purchasing are investors.
Exactly.
Absolutely, and this is their time. And what I was telling clients before, like in Feb, like as early as Feb, was like, if you got investment properties right now that are replaceable, like we're talking like a simple townhouse, a simple detached that has no more upside to it. If you can't duplex it, if you can't subdivide lots off of it, sell it. You'll be able to replace at a lot lower amount. Plus, or you're going to be buying a better product. Like maybe this townhouse is going to turn into a duplex in a better area, and making obviously a lot more passive income. And some listened, some didn't. And the ones that listened, they're sitting on their chips right now and they're getting ready. Like the next, little while now.
Yeah, especially with the increase we've seen in rent as well, because you're also taking advantage of that. You got rid of that rental property, you're coming to a new rental property, you probably could make a lot more than you were making before, because you can only increase 1.9%. Yearly? You can only increase 1.9%.
Yeah, I think it was 1.2%
1.2. Yeah, because they changed it up because of COVID. There's that freeze at one point as well. So
and the rental market is going bananas right now. So.
Yeah,
inventory's low, and now we just welcomed in 1.5 million new foreign immigrants. Right, we doubled or tripled up what we regularly do, and there's already a supply and demand issue, and rents rising. Right,
so on top of that, you have the first time home buyers. They want to move out, but they can't go buy, so they go rent.
That's why they should buy real quick, because once these guys get the bug, then start buying. There's not going to be left for like Canadian residents, right, or Canadian citizens or original born citizens. It's going to be tough. And also look at the builders. I mean, a lot of them are shutting down. They're not building right now. It's going to cause more strain. The bureaucracy to build in Canada is a disaster. The cost of building, development charges went up, I think 43%, something like that. Like that's maddening, Like I have a project up in Alliston. I have subdivided 2 lots. I was supposed to build now 2 detaches, and it's just like, doesn't make sense. Honestly, I'm just going to sell the land off and then, move the money. It's just, there's no upside to it.
Right.
We're involved in a pre-construction project right now, and the builder simply told us flat out, listen, in regards to what's happened with the building costs and them going through the roof, it simply doesn't make sense for me to continue with this build and the price that I sold you the unit for. So I'm going to have to lay down, right? And we're going to have to reinvent the way that we approach this. And it just said it flat out. And it makes sense, right? Whether you want to get mad about it or not, it is what it is, right? Their costs have gone through the roof, to go to your point, right? And it's only getting worse. So it's going to be really interesting to see.
Material, labor, development costs. It's just, there's no upside to it. It's almost better just to not do it.
Right.
Or just sit on it until everything gets better. But that's obviously creating more strain on our market right now with housing. It's only going to get worse, right?
Yeah. So what is it that you guys look for when referring a client to a mortgage broker, and what is it that you really have a lot of confidence in when it comes to your financial partner on the deal?
The biggest thing I'm looking for is communication. Having someone that I can send to you guys, and basically having like them being communicated and basically drawing a roadmap to say this is how the process is going to go. Like having a proactive approach that you guys have is phenomenal versus a reactive. And then what happens is the client didn't anticipate or expect something like coming at them, and their arms go up, or like they get a little bit defensive. Like it's just better when everything's laid out and they know from the beginning exactly how the process is going to go.
Yeah, communication. That's one of our core values. Communication, 100%. Whether it's good news, bad news, some things are simply out of our control. Communicate that, and communicate that right away. Right? Don't have them waiting.
Yeah, I second Mike for sure. Communication and professionalism, right? Obviously, people are buying this largest investment in their lives. They want to have, sometimes they need their handhelds. Obviously, there's more mature buyers and sellers. That's different. But there's like those first-time buyers or there's nervous set that they want that, like the handheld approach. They want to be walked through it. They want to understand the process. Also, going back to your presentation, you guys have pretty awesome programs where you guys all, as a company, stay in tune with each other. So it's like, we're doing that something like that now, but it's literally like this is the file, this is who's on it, this is the state that it's in, this is the next step. So it's always, everything's not like top of mind, and if you're going to forget it, it's basically it's in organization mode, because if you're dealing with 100, 200 files, 300 files, like how do you top of mind, it's going to be a disaster, and then who suffers is our clients, and then that looks bad on us as realtors. So yeah, I like what you guys are doing there for sure.
Yeah, thank you. And like Mike said, the way we're building it out is to be proactive, not reactive. So it's like, okay, maybe there's not 1,000 files in the pipeline right now coming in, but we are working towards that. We're going to get to that point. So how do we build this program, like you said, where, okay, this person's touching this aspect of it, this person's on that aspect. You give me a call, you give Nick a call. We could say, hey, this is right where the file is. And then even to go to your point about the roadmap, I think it's crucial right now for clients to have that roadmap, to understand, what that outlook looks like if they're getting a pre-approval, or even for the fact that sometimes I feel, let's say they have to go to that B lender, alternate lender. I've heard in the past, there's like, I felt I was thrown into that product with whatever bank or broker they were working with. So we like to really say, this is why it didn't work with this product, but we're going to put you in this one. This is your best option for right now for this reason, but this is how we're going to work towards building you up. Again, because ideally we're looking for, that growth for that client, the growth with our company, but growth with you guys, because putting them in that proper product could, lead to potential business for you guys in the future, for us, because they want to grow your real estate portfolio. Like you said, you're looking to collect doors. I'm sure everybody else is as well.
Yes.
Exactly.
But even like you said, so you basically, you tell them, let's just say, it's like some of my clients, you have to get into a B mortgage, but you're saying, but okay, fair, here's now.
Yeah, it's not just here's your product.
We're going to get you here. Like this is our goal, to get you to an A lower rate. Yeah. So you didn't say like, hey, thanks so much, B, collect your commission and split. You're like, no, you're my client, you're under our umbrella. You're here, we're going to put you here. This is our goal, to give you financial success. And that's important, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And just having that call right after it closes with the B, we always do that and say, okay, this is the steps, this is the recipe, that we need to follow to get you that A next year. So go pay off this, let's go take care of that, keep your credit like this. So that's what, we're really happy we bring to that, is that whole financial advising of, like you said, creating that roadmap for them.
Yeah, and I think that's the institutional experience that we come to the table with, right?
Yeah.
From the many years of most of the crew working in the big banks, and coming with that mortgage advisory piece, and even for first-time home buyers that aren't in the market yet, that road to their first purchase, right? And we're building on those relationships, and it's okay if you're not able to monetize right then and there, because they're ready to buy and they got the down payment. That's how you build real relationships and where you gain loyalty from.
Absolutely.
And systems and processes we're very big on. We also have big vision and want to expand internationally, and know that we can only do that if, again, our foundation is solid, but we're doing it in an order where we can all, stay in tune with, right?
For sure.
Through our CRM systems and technologies, but very big on that. Yeah. Thank you for the compliments.
Well, thank you so much for coming out today. We really appreciate having the conversation with both of you.
Check these boys out. They're doing an awesome job scaling their current portfolio, and they're taking their talents down south. So if you need anything down there, we got you on the finance, and they'll get you on the real estate.
Thanks again for tuning to this week's episode, and be sure to check us out next week. Coming up on What Would It Cost?
The men don't really experience what we experience in this industry.
I think with females, the first thing people attack is your looks.
Yes.
Or, being a female, there's a lot of comments about your body, the way you look.
There's some creeps, there's those sugar daddies. It's like, a lot of that going on. Sometimes we wonder, should we just do a little switch of career here? Kidding.
She's totally joking.